Good morning, everyone. So glad that you're all here today. Today and through the month of November, we recall and reconnect with the rhythm of life when we were closer to the land. When we lived by the seasons, working the land longer hours in the seasons of more daylight, and then lying fallow, curling up cozy by the fire in the seasons of short days and long nights. And to learn from those whose lives have stayed connected to nature and those who are choosing to intentionally live more seasonally. And today we turn our attention to acknowledging that wherever we may live in this country, we are situated on native land. Here in central Massachusetts, we're on the land of people who lived by the ponds and in the woods. The native peoples have much to say about the natural world and learning from the natural ebbs and flows of time and energy in this beautifully created world. And so as we enter into our worship this morning, I invite you to take a deep breath. If you have a watch on, I invite you to take it off for this hour of worship. If you have a phone near you, I invite you to turn it off or put it away now. Of course, if that makes you very anxious, that's okay. Maybe next week you'll be able to do it. Just notice the feeling and give it some thought. Let these simple acts, or maybe not so simple acts, be a sign of the commitment to give ourselves a break, to give ourselves just an hour to catch our breath, to give ourselves time to reconnect with that spirit of life that continues to hold us. And so we light a chalice this morning for clearing out, hoping today for tools to sweep away our stress. A chalice of truth that clears our minds to see what things really matter. A chalice of love that holds our mingled joy and sorrow and compassion. A chalice of hope whose drumbeat keeps time with the rhythm of our hearts. Will you please join in singing together, "The Earth is Our Mother"?
The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. What are the lyrics? Start again. Can you display?
Deborah, can you put the lyrics up for us? Thank you.
Take two. Nope. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. Hey, Anna, hey, Anna, hey, Yan, Yan. Hey, Anna, hoy, Anna, hey, Yan, Yan. Her sacred ground we walk upon, with every step we take. Her sacred ground we walk upon, with every step we take. Hey, Anna, hoy, Anna, hey, Yan, Yan. Hey, Anna, hoy, Anna, hey, Yan, Yan. The earth is our mother, she will take care of us. The earth is our mother, she will take care of us. Hey, Anna, hoy, Anna, hey, Yan, Yan. Hey, Anna, hoy, Anna, hey, Yan, Yan. The sky is our father, we will take care of him. The sky is our father, take care of her. The sea is our sister. We will take care of her. Hey, Anna hoy, Anna hey, yan yan. Hey, Anna hoy, Anna hey, yan yan. The forest is our brother. We will take care of him. The forest is our brother. We will take care of him. Hey, Anna hoy, Anna hey, yan yan. Hey, Anna hoy, Anna hey, yan yan. Nobody's perfect.
There we go.
The Thanksgiving Address is from Braiding Sweetgrass by author Robin Wall Kimmerer. The Thanksgiving Address is a river of words as old as the people themselves, known more accurately in the Onondaga language as the words that came before all else. This ancient order of protocol sets gratitude as the highest priority. Today, we have gathered in the knowledge that there are many to whom we may offer our gratitude. You will hear several voices speak as we share the parts of this address. We've been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and with all living things. So now let us bring our minds together as one. We give greetings and thanks to each other as people, and now our minds are one. We are thankful for Mother Earth, for she gives us everything that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk upon her. She gives us joy that we continue, that she has from the beginning of time. To our Mother, we send thanksgiving, love, and respect. Now our minds are one.
We give thanks for all of the waters of the world, for quenching our thirst, for providing strength and nurturing life for all beings. We know its power in many forms: waterfalls and rain, mists and streams, rivers and oceans, snow and ice. We are grateful that the waters are still here and meeting their responsibilities to the rest of creation. Can we agree that water is important to our lives and bring our minds together as one to send greetings and thanks to the water? Now our minds are one. We turn our thoughts to all of the fish life in the water. They were instructed to cleanse and purify the water. They also give themselves to us as food. We are grateful that they continue to do their duties, and we send to the fish of our greetings and our thanks. Now our minds are one.
Now we turn toward the vast fields of plant life. As far as the eye can see, the plants grow, working many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, we give thanks and look forward to seeing plant life for many generations to come. Now our minds are one. When we look about us, we see the berries are still here, providing us with delicious food. The leader of the berries is the strawberry, the first to ripen in the spring. Can we agree that we are grateful that the berries are with us in the world and send our thanksgiving, love, and respect to the berries? Now our minds are one. With one mind, we honor and thank all the food plants we harvest from the garden, especially the three sisters who feed the people with such abundance. Since the beginning of time, the grains, vegetables, beans, and fruit have helped the people survive. Many other living things draw strength from them as well. We gather together in our minds all the plant foods and send them a greeting and thanks. Now our minds are one. Now we turn to the medicine herbs of the world. From the beginning, they were instructed to take away sickness. They were always waiting and ready to heal us. We are so happy that there are still among us a special few who remember how to use the plants for healing. With one mind, we send thanksgiving, love, and respect to the medicines and the keepers of the medicines. Now our minds are one. Standing around us, we see all the trees. The earth has many families of trees who each have their own instructions and uses. Some provide shelter and shade, others fruit and beauty and many useful gifts. The maple is the leader of the trees, to recognize its gifts of sugar when the people need it most. Many peoples of the world recognize a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. With one mind, we greet and thank the tree life. Now our minds are one.
We gather our minds together to send our greetings and thanks to all the beautiful animal life of the world who walk about with us. They have many things to teach us as people. We are grateful that they continue to share their lives with us and hope that it will always be so. Let us put our minds together as one and send our thanks to the animals. Now our minds are one. We put our minds together as one and thank all the birds who move and fly about over our heads. The Creator gave them the gift of beautiful songs. Each morning they greet the day and with their songs remind us to enjoy and appreciate life. The eagle was chosen to be their leader and to watch over the world. To all the birds, from the smallest to the largest, we send our joyful greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. We are all thankful for the powers we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help to bring the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and thanks to the four winds. Now our minds are one.
Now we turn to the west, where our grandfathers, the thunder beings, live. With lightning and thundering voices, they bring with them the waters that renew life. We bring our minds together as one to send greetings and thanks to our grandfather, the thunderers. We now send greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of life. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our brother, the sun. Now our minds are one. We put our minds together and give thanks to our oldest grandmother, the moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movement of the ocean tides. By her changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on the earth. Let us gather our thanks for Grandmother Moon, together in a pile, layer upon layer of gratitude, and then joyfully fling that pile high into the night sky that she will know. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our grandmother, the moon. We give thanks to the stars who are spread across the sky like jewelry. We see them at night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bringing dew to the gardens and growing things. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds gathered as one, we send greetings and thanks to all the stars. Now our minds are one.
We gather our minds to greet and thank the enlightened teachers who have come to help throughout the ages. When we forgot how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to these caring teachers. Now our minds are one. We now turn our thoughts to the Creator or Great Spirit and send greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything we need to live a good life is here on Mother Earth. For all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds together as one and send our choicest words of greeting and thanks to the Creator. Now our minds are one. We have now arrived at the place where we end our words. Of all the things we have named, it is not our intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own way. And now our minds are one. You know, for many of us in this modern, industrial, tech-savvy world, we've lost touch with the seasonality of life. We want what we want when we want it. We come to believe that no time is off limits, and the lines between busy and rest, work and play have become increasingly blurred. How far are we from the rhythms and pleasures of our toil? What cost to ourselves and our relationships is this to our planet is this frantic pace? Let us take a few minutes to reconnect with our season of life. Right now, today, will you join me in this recorded meditation? So busy, so much to do. Where do I even start? Remember, Lynda, by slowing down, you do everything better. Oh yeah, there's my special chair. Ah, that's better. I can sit for a bit and watch the seasons change.
Now is
So much gratitude, so much worry, so much concern. Let us hold each other in love today in all our joys and all our struggles. And sing together, Draw the Circle Wide. With a heart filled with gratitude this morning, I feel to offer a blessing, a prayer of intention adapted from the Reverend Jude Geiger. Spirit of life, God of many names, source of hope, we come together at the end of another week, some worn down by struggles of health, of home or work, some buoyed up with gratitude and hope, many with such a jumble of thoughts and emotions that it will take time and spaciousness to sort them out and internalize the experiences we are living through. May we take time. May we take time to reconnect. May we take time to reconnect with the unhurried universe, a universe that attends to every birdsong just as diligently as an election tabulator attends to every ballot. May we be a community that makes unhurried space for the sharing of our joys and sorrows, angers and hopes with grace and forbearance. And in the midst of our busy lives, our busy thoughts, we pause today to remember the Native American lives lost from the European colonization on what is now our soil. Teach us to remember our history. Though we cannot make amends for what has come before, may we learn from these ways, never to repeat them in our lives today. May we develop new ways of relating to neighbor and stranger without violence or coercion, deceit or greed. Mother of Grace, help us to find a sense of humility where we have privilege and strength where we face oppression. In our struggles, may we learn compassion, and in our power, may we learn temperance. Knowing that although we have come far in the civil rights struggles of our times, there are many peoples still left behind. And the work of building the beloved community is just as pressing as ever before. And though the work is pressing, may we still take time to breathe, time to renew, time for joy and celebration. For the times we have run ourselves and others ragged, forgive us. Help us to forgive each other and ourselves. For the times when we have asked of ourselves too much or too little, forgive us. Help us to forgive each other and ourselves. Help us to find the right tempos for the right times, O Spirit of the life force within us. Help us to be gentle in our learning and growing with ourselves and with others. Let us learn from the wisdom of the earth and the faith traditions that center upon this earth wisdom. Blessed be. Amen. Aho. May it be so. So here we are, poised this morning on the verge of a new beginning. Of course, the same could be said of each morning and every moment even, but sometimes you really can feel that new beginning, that promise, that sense of possibility deep in your bones. I believe that this is one of those times. And so, what will we do with our future? That depends in large part on what we have learned from our past. The Reverend Jan Carlson Bull, in her sermon, The Other Side of the Pond, talks about a moment in the history of our continent that must have felt miraculously fraught with possibility and promise. The historian writes, when Christopher Columbus approached the islands of North America just over half a millennium ago, he and his shipmates were received with warmth and wonder. Arawak men and women swam out from the beaches of the Bahamas, curious about this strange large craft nearing their shores. As Columbus and his sailors reached land, the Arawaks welcomed them with food and gifts. Their hospitality was immediately evident to Columbus and his crew. How would this hospitality be received? Could two peoples learn about each other, share their strength and wisdom, find mutually beneficial ways to coexist? Unfortunately, the European history of conquest and exploitation continued to guide the explorers' attitudes and actions. In his journal, Columbus wrote, "The Indians have large communal bell-shaped buildings housing up to 600 people at one time. They lack all manner of commerce, neither buying nor selling, and rely exclusively on their natural environment for maintenance. They are extremely generous with their possessions." With 50 men, calculated Columbus, we could subjugate them all and make them do what we want. Well, that thought is pretty abhorrent to us UUs. And yet, the idea that Western culture is superior to Indigenous ways is deeply ingrained in the structures of social, economic, and political life in this country. It impacts the First Nations people in so many ways, not the least of which is the high infection rate and mortality rate within the Indigenous communities with this COVID pandemic. And I'm going to put it out right here, right now, that my purpose in mentioning these things is not to make us feel guilty. Guilt is an unproductive option. which commonly fuels denial through attention to what we feel at the expense of what happened and what we can do about it. So what do we do with this awful information rather than feel guilty? We can learn the truth in love. We can read historical accounts that tell the whole story. And we can slow down, not rush to the what can we do stage. Instead, we sit with it. We give it its space. We gradually allow the extent of the horror and pain that many of our own forebears, including my own shipbuilding ancestors, fully embraced in the system that continued this legacy of genocide, theft of lands, and quashing of rights that continue to this day. We can heed the counsel that Dr. George Tinker, Native American professor of religion at Iliff School of Theology, gives to his white students. He says, take a step away from the center, out toward the periphery, and look back at the center again as something that's hurting you as a white American as much as it's hurting Indian people, Blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Asian Americans. And then we can take the next most crucial step, the step without which we can do very little for marginalized populations, and seek out ways, however small, to enter into relationship with them. Get to know them. Come to love them because we know them. Remember, I'm always preaching, we can only save what we love. And then and only then will we be ready to ask them what they need from us, how we can use our privilege and unique talents and situation to ally with them in their struggle for equity, justice, and freedom. I know that may feel counterintuitive, to take time to learn and ponder and feel and build relationship when we know the work is pressing. And yet what we are learning is that help without a reciprocal relationship that centers the needs, feelings, and expressed wishes of those being helped can actually do more harm than good. One example of a way in which we're trying to live into this practice of relationship as a congregation is that many of us feeling called to include a land acknowledgement in our services, honoring those whose ancestral lands our church and communities reside. One similar to the one that Canadians recently began including at the beginning of all their government meetings across their country. But rather than just write one and use it, we are reaching out to the Nipmuc people to try to talk about the process, to ask what they would like us to express and memorialize in our acknowledgement. This will help our words be more than just empty noise. We hope this can be a beginning, not an end to a relationship, but wherever that relationship may go, a statement of land acknowledgement can help us to remember a part of our history that we need to learn from and hopefully never repeat, and to remember our debt of gratitude for the gifts of the native inhabitants of this land. There always will be much to learn and much to do. As we go about the business of justice making and living through a pandemic at the same time, let us draw upon the wisdom and support of an unhurried universe and take time to live our lives fully present and alive to joy and pain and possibility. May it be so. And I leave you with this blessing as we draw this service to a close. Blessed is the path on which you travel. Blessed is the body that carries you upon it. Blessed is your heart that has heard the call. Blessed is your mind that discerns the way. Blessed is the gift that you will receive by going. Truly blessed is the gift that you will become on the journey. May you go forth in peace. And before we play our prelude, Peace Today, I want to remind everyone that this is pledge time. The largest item in our fiscal year 2020-2021 budget, as it is every year, is our pledge commitment. And our budget is balanced this year, the one we just passed, with a target of raising $95,000 through pledges. And so it's time for us all to step up to meet or exceed this target. Whatever your circumstances, all of us belong in our community, our church, all of us. Our pledges help us plan ahead to use our resources wisely. If you are doing well financially, please support the community we love with the largest pledge you can manage. We need your help now. The link to pledge is in the Friday Perspective, or contact Jean Cahill. And if you are struggling financially, please know we understand that you also love our community. Pledge what you can. Half of our offering today will go to the Northborough Food Bank. And there's no time like the present, so I'm inviting you that if you still need to pledge or leave an offering today, it's okay to take time out to do so during the postlude, which is Breaths, sung by UU minister Glenn Thomas Rideout.
Listen, 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 more often to things than to bees. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. In the voice of the water. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the rustling trees. They are in the fields. They are in the crying grass. They are in the morning rocks. The dead are not under the earth. So listen more often to them than to these. Listen more often to them than to these. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the voice of the waters. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead are not packed with bodies. They are with the children's breast. They are in the wailing child. They are with us in our homes. They are with us in ancestors' breath, when the fire's voices heard to the ancestors' breath, in the voice of the waters. Fire's voices heard to the ancestors' breath, in the voice of the waters.